What we're trying to do is be part of the solution. We want to give the people of Puerto Rico 3 more voices. Because when you're not heard, no help is going to come to you when you need it. And that's why we're going there. It's more than just giving concerts anymore. We want to get into the communities. We want to meet our audience. We want to hear their stories. We want to shake their hands. We want to embrace them. We want to let them know that we're thinking about them. My vision has always been to find a way for the trio to help bridge the gap that may exist between the mainland United States and Puerto Rico. Going to Puerto Rico and trying to go to different parts of the island and trying to get to know different parts of the island and developing a more intimate picture of what the island is and what it represents and what's going on in these different parts. We want to be able to bring some of that back to the mainland United States. We want to build permanent bridges between the island and the world at large that we're connected with, so that they feel heard, so that they feel seen, and so that they feel like even at the small scale that we're working at as a trio, that there are those of us who care about what's going on there.
Looking towards our residency in Puerto Rico, one of the things I'm really excited about is playing music by composers of Puerto Rican descent in Puerto Rico.
We're going to be in communities that don't ever get represented in the news or in other mainstream programming. We are fundraising so that we can bring these concerts to the island free of cost to these communities. We want to make sure that part of what we're addressing through the residency is the issue of access. We are choosing communities that wouldn't necessarily think about using their resources towards bringing outside music.
I'm really looking forward to having a piece written for us by Miguel Zenon, who's a fabulous jazz saxophonist. It will be super interesting to see what he writes for us because he's a jazz saxophonist and we don't necessarily play jazz music, and so whether it'll be a common ground between classical and jazz or not, or if it'll be purely jazz or maybe just like more Puerto Rican, Latin American music, we'll see.
We're very excited to work with him in creating a work that we'll be able to perform with him that addresses something that I think we are all generally aware of, but that has been set aside for perhaps too long, which is this idea that the island, Puerto Rico, has become invisible. So this title, País Invisible, Invisible Nation, and we want to address the issue of invisibility or the island being overlooked beyond the obvious nature of hurricane relief, which in itself deserves a lot of attention and it's extraordinarily important, but also that in order for us to move forward in a way that's more permanent and more sustainable, we first need to recognize that Puerto Rico has been set aside and ignored.